Welcome to the neighborhood. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the neighborhood. Ready to learn? Let's go. Welcome to the neighborhood. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the neighborhood. Ready to learn? Let's go.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, read by Mrs. Wilram. So here's another illustration of the White Witch, who we also know is the Queen of Narnia, pointing to Edmund, who we know is a human boy. She looks pretty wicked, right? Right, chapter 4 of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. We know at the end of chapter 3, it was kind of like a cliffhanger. We know Edmund found Narnia and he met the White Witch, who we also know is the Queen of Narnia. So let's find out immediately what happens with chapter 4, which is called Turkish Delight. But what are you? The Queen asked again. Are you a great big troll with no beard? No, Your Majesty, said Edmund. I've never had a beard. I'm a boy. A boy, she said. Do you mean you are a human being? Edmund stood still, saying nothing. He was confused by this time. I see that you are not very smart. Answer me once and for all, or I will lose my patience. Are you human? Yes, Your Majesty, said Edmund. And how, pray, did you come to enter my world? Please, Your Majesty, I came in through a wardrobe. A wardrobe? What do you mean? I just opened the door and here I am, Your Majesty, said Edmund. A door. A door from the world of humans. I have heard of such things. This may wreck all my plans. But he is only one human. I can deal with him easily. As she spoke, she looked at Edmund in the face. This time she raised her wand. Edmund felt sure she was going to do something horrible. Then she changed her mind. My poor child, she said in a different voice. How cold you look. Come and sit with me here in my sleigh, and I will put my coat around you and we will talk. Edmund did not disobey her. He stepped on, and she put her fur around him. Would you like something hot to drink? Yes, please, Your Majesty, said Edmund, whose teeth were chattering. The Queen took from somewhere among her things a very small bottle. Then she let a drop of it fall into the snow. Edmund saw the drop shine like a diamond. But the moment it touched the snow, it made a sound. And instead of snow, there was a jeweled cup full of something warm. Then immediately one of the dwarfs took it and handed it to Edmund. Edmund felt much better as he began to sip the hot drink. It was something he had never tasted, very sweet and foamy and creamy, and it warmed him right down to his toes. It must be boring to drink without eating, said the Queen. What would you like to eat? Turkish Delight, please, Your Majesty, said Edmund. The Queen let another drop fall from the bottle onto the snow, and immediately there was a box full of Turkish Delight. Each piece was sweet and light. Edmund had never tasted anything more delicious. While he was eating, the Queen kept asking him questions. At first, Edmund tried to remember that it is rude to speak with one's mouth full, but soon he forgot about this and only thought about shoveling down as much of the Turkish Delight as he could. The more he ate, the more he wanted to eat. And he never asked himself why the queen was asking him so many questions. She got him to tell her that he had one brother and two sisters, and that one of his sisters had been in Narnia and had met a faun there, and no one except himself and his brother and his sisters knew anything about Narnia. She seemed especially interested in the fact that there were four of them. "You are sure there are just four of you? 2 boys and 2 girls. None less. Yes, I told you that before." At last he'd finished all of the Turkish delight in the box. Probably the queen knew quite well what he was thinking. She could tell that Edmund was quite greedy. "Human boy, I would like to see your brother and your 2 sisters. Will you bring them to me?" "I'll try," said Edmund. "Because if you did come again, bringing them with you, of course, I'd be able to give you some more Turkish delight. I can't do it now because the magic will only work once. In my own house, however, it would be different." "Well, why can't we go to your house now?" said Edmund. "It is a lovely place. I'm sure you would like it. There are rooms full of Turkish delight. And I have no children. Oh, I wish I had a nice boy who I could bring up as a prince, and who would be king of Narnia one day. While he was prince, he would wear a gold crown and eat Turkish delight all day long." "You know," said the queen, "you are the smartest and most handsome young boy I've ever met. I think I would like to make you the prince some day, when you bring the others to visit me," she said. "Why not now?" said Edmund. "Because I want to meet your brother and your sisters. Now, do as I say, and I will make your brother a duke and your sisters duchesses. Psh, there's nothing special about them. And anyway, I could always bring them some other time." "No, you will have to come back with them. It's no good coming without them." "But I don't even know the way back to my own country." "That's easy," answered the queen. "Do you see that lamp? Straight on beyond that is the way to the world of humans. And tell me, can you see those 2 little hills rising above the trees?" "Yes," said Edmund. "Well, my house is between those 2 hills. So next time you come here, you only have to find the lamp post and look for those 2 hills, and you will see my house. But remember, you must bring the others with you. I might be very angry with you if you come alone." "I'll do my best," said Edmund. "And by the way, you mustn't tell them about me. It will be so fun to have a secret between the 2 of us, wouldn't it? Make it a surprise for them." "If your sister has met one of the fauns, she may have heard strange stories about me. Mean stories that just aren't true, and they would make her afraid to come. Fauns will say anything, you can't trust them. Please, can I just have one piece of Turkish delight to eat on my way home?" "No," said the queen. "Wait till next time." With that, next time. Go now. Don't forget. Come soon. Edmund was still there watching the sleigh as it rode off when he turned around and saw someone coming towards him. "Edmund! Edmund, it is you! You found it too! Isn't it wonderful?" "All right," said Edmund. "I see you were right. It is a magic wardrobe after all, and I'm sorry, okay? But where on earth have you been all this time? I've been looking for you." "If I had known you got in, I'd have waited for you. I've been having lunch with my dear friend Mr. Thomas the Faun. And he's very well, and the White Witch has done nothing to him for letting me go. So he thinks she hasn't found out, and perhaps everything is going to be all right." "The White Witch?" said Edmund. "Who's she?" "She's a perfectly terrible person," said Lucy. "She calls herself the Queen of Narnia, though she has no right to be queen at all. And all of the forest creatures simply hate her. And she can turn people into stone and do all kinds of horrible things. And she has magic, and so it's always winter in Narnia, but it's never Christmas. And she drives about on the sleigh, and she has a wand in her hand and a crown on her head." Edmund began to feel uncomfortable when he heard her say the things he said. But he still wanted to taste more of that Turkish delight, more than he wanted anything else. It was a delicious candy. Who told you all that stuff about the White Witch? My friend the fawn, said Lucy. You can't believe what fawns say. They'll do anything. They'll say anything. Everyone knows fawns are liars, said Edmund. Ask anybody. Let's go home. Okay, well, Edmund, I'm just so glad that you've got in too. The others will believe in Narnia now that both of us have been here. What fun it will be. But Edmund secretly thought that it would not be as fun for him as for her. He would have to admit that Lucy had been right, and he felt that things would be different. By the time they had walked a good way, they suddenly felt the coats around them. Edmund, you look awful, said Lucy when they got out of the wardrobe. Do you feel well? I'm all right. But he was feeling a little sick. Come on then, let's find the others. Let's tell them about our adventures. And that's the end of chapter 4. I wonder why Edmund's beginning to feel sick. What do you think? Interesting, perhaps. I also thought it was interesting how the queen, the White Witch, really wanted all of them to come. Why do you think she wants the whole family there? The brothers and the sisters. Because she said, remember, I might be very angry if you come without them. I don't know what her plan is. What do you think her plan is? Do you trust the queen or do you trust the fawn? Because the queen says you can't trust fawns and that they make up stories and they don't tell the truth. But the fawn said the queen is the evil one. So, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to find out who's telling the truth. We'll find out maybe next time when we read chapter 5, which is called Back on the Other Side of the Door. See you next time, guys.